Well, here we are out on Cherokee Lake out in Tennessee. And if you've missed the lake breakdown videos before this, make sure to go check out the lake breakdown playlist because we've talked about we've actually already gone down and broken down about 3/4 of this lake. So you can see over here on the left hand side, we have Cherokee Lower, which is going to be this lower end. That's what we're actually going to go over today. And we've actually gone through and we've done this midsection. So we've talked about everything we found in the midsection. And then we've also talked about this upper section as well. And you can find all this information out on the website, simplisticfishing.com. And not only do we have Cherokee Lake, but you can see here we've got a lot of different lakes in Tennessee, several of them for you guys to choose from. And then if you like to fish out of state, you can see that we have several different states where we have a lot of different lakes. So let's go ahead and just talk about this lower section because that's what we're going to start on today. Now, I've already kind of cheated. I've gone in and I've changed my date to 2022 because that really gives me the best date when the water was drawn down the most for me able to see different types of rock formations, brush, all that good stuff that we're going to talk about tonight. So I've got that selected. And what we're going to do is we're going to go down here to the bottom and we're going to go to the very bottom. I know the dam where is the dam at on this one? Am I missing the dam? I knew it was somewhere up in there. There it goes. There's the dam right there. So we're going to go a little bit south of the dam. We're going to start right here where these little creek channels are, and we'll go through it. So just real quick on the left-hand side, the way that we have this broken down is we have as channels and ditches. That's going to be these green tracks that you see. These are the tracks that are taking you through where these channels and ditches are. We've also got covers. So that's going to be the debris, the rock. There's different types of like man-made structure that was out here, like a foundation or something like that. There's all kinds of good stuff in this lake, but we've got all that marked. We also have the ramps marked. So if you're out there fishing and you're wondering where the closest ramp is to you, you'll definitely know where that is. And then you'll also, you can have the ramp be a pattern for you. So boat ramps can be a pattern, definitely something to check out. And then last but not least, we have rocks. We have a lot of different, whether it be like rock piles or just hard spots where the entire ground is hard off some of these points. Some of this offshore stuff has some really good hard spot looking areas as well. So we'll talk about all of those. So let's go ahead and select all of these. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up here to view. And I'm going to take this sidebar off. So now we have a full view of what we're looking at. And if you're wondering what year I'm on, I've actually gone in and changed this history. This is actually, I'm going to have to put it back on there now. And you can see here, this would be 2024. 2022 gives me the best image, I believe. Let's go back in here and just pull up right in here. I think this is going to give us our best image. We can go back and we can see the water fluctuate a lot. Definitely, here it's really high and it's low, but I think 2022 really gives the best image. This 2016 was pretty good, but it's not as clear as 2022. And it looks like in 2022, it was down about the same amount. So really good clarity, really good mapping we're going to be able to do here because of that. So let's go ahead and we'll start down here. Here's those channels. There's some debris that's down here too that you might want to check out. And obviously, when the water's like this is a no-go. But in the spring, when that water's up really high, there could definitely be a chance to get back in here and catch something. So here we are in 2024. The water's up here. You can see that debris is totally hidden. That creek channel is totally hidden. So there can be some opportunities back in there for sure. All right, so let's move that back and let's keep moving up this side. We'll come on that side later. We're going to stay on the east and work our way to the north. So here we've got another ramp. We've also got some debris that's outside of this ramp. Looks like I missed a ramp here too. So you've actually got another one right here. But here we've got some debris, like someone put it down a rock pile or something. Could be trees, brush, you never know. But definitely something to check out. Over here, we've got a little bit of rock that's out here that's kind of hidden. It's almost like its own little individual rock pile. Probably something someone put there. It might not even be rock, could be debris. And then as you move up this area, you'll notice a lot of it's just kind of sandy or really, really fine rock. But in different areas, you find the hard spots. Here, you can tell there's a hard spot just by looking at the image that Google Earth has for us here. And then as we move further up, we're to see the same type thing, right? It's kind of messed up image here, but you can tell that there's a hard spot right there off the side of the island. Now, as we move out, I'll try to hit these as we move our way up. On these little humps that are out here, you definitely want to check them out because maybe back here, you don't see much, but up here off the front, you definitely have some really good rock to fish around. This is definitely, offshore. This is way out there. So it's going to be a good spot to look at. If we look at it when the water's up, you wouldn't even know that rock was out there. But it's definitely there and definitely something that you should you should look at. All right, let's move over here and let's go down inside of this cove and see what we find. We got some rock out here on the outside ledge. We got another ramp there. There is some debris that's back here behind this dock. If I zoom in here, this looks like just rocks and stuff, but this looks like it might be some brush or something. I can't really tell. There's definitely some pretty good debris that's out there. And again, if we look at that, and I'll quit doing this because it's going to make you guys sick of me going back and forth. But if we look at that, look at that. That debris out here, that's definitely in play for sure. And it's going to give you some pretty good depth, especially when the water's up. So we'll move that back and we'll keep going. We've got a ramp here. We've got some more debris and some rock that's up in here. You can see it. Some more rock back in here. Got a couple laydowns here. I don't know if these will ever come into play. Depends on how high the water gets. And a couple more there. And you got a little bit of a creek there, but not much. So I didn't really mark anything. And you can see there's that boat ramp back there as well. So let me pull back, kind of show you where I'm at. Now we're going to start up here in this little pocket. And as you go in here, this is very interesting. You get back in this one right off this little creek channel. I guess you could call it a creek channel. I don't even know if there's a creek back there, but basically just where the water's made a little ditch here, but you got some really good laydowns back in there. So you'll want to go check that out. You've got another good hard spot that's here. So, when the water's down, you can look for these hard spots and fish around them. Those hard spots go further out, and those are going to be great spots to look at, especially when you're struggling when that water's down. You're having a hard time kind of figuring out what to fish around. These hard spots can be really good for you. So you've got some more hard spots here. We've got some rock that's here around this point, all around kind of this really bluffy type point. You've got some rock. And then out here on these humps, there's not much going on in this one, but the second one definitely has a hard spot on it as well. Right out here, you can start to see the rock. So I would fish off the edge of this one, off the outside area, like right in there would be the area that I would focus on the most. All right, so let's go on up here. Now you're going to see a lot of hard spot and rocks. Here you can kind of see it again. You've got a lot of hard spot here. You've got some pretty good rock going on in here. A little bit of rock in here, but man, these things can just be money especially if you find ones kind of isolated. Those fish will stack up on those areas. You've got hard spots here. You've got a nice little rocky wall right here. You can fish around. Some more rocks up in here too. This whole little area looks pretty good. You've got rocks out here off the outsides of these humps. So all good stuff. And those are probably hard spots too, right? It's probably not just there. It probably extends further out or something. So you want to definitely go in there and scan around those areas. I would spend a lot of time right in here. This looks like a really good area to find some fish. Then as we move up here, we've got more rock. Got a little bit more rock back in here too. You can see it's going to be underneath or pretty close to that little walkway there. There's a ramp that I missed as well. And then as we move back in here, just getting back in these pockets, it's always interesting to see what people have put out there and then what our options are. You can see we've got a couple ramps back here. We got some individual little rock piles. You've got some debris that's up here at the back of this little channel right here. And then over here, that is definitely a brush pile right there. So you'll want to check that out. You crappie fishermen, you're going to love that kind of stuff as well. All right, so we're going to move on up, see what else we find. Some more ramps. A little bit of rock on the outside edge of this one, not a lot. Those other humps looked a lot better. We've also got some hard spots that are out here off the outside of this one as well. So just some stuff to look at. As we move over here, we've got more ramps. We got some brush that's way back in there, so I don't know if that'll ever come into play. This little spot right here, these are sneaky little spots, but see right here, we have this little bitty rock pile. That could be decent, or maybe up here, off this little point that's out here, you've got a nice lay down and some rocks as well. Another lay down that's up there. Nothing too fancy. Got another ramp here. These really good hard spots, these rocky spots off these points just look awesome. I think you could just get out there probably with a crankbait and just hit each one of these points, and eventually you're going to run into the fish. But some really good rock here, really good rock there as well. Really good rock out in here. Just all kinds of good looking stuff. You got that nice little long point that comes out with all that good rock on the outside of it. I love it. Back in here, just some ramps and then another little rock pile that's right there in that area. All right, so let's pull this back. I'm going to show you guys where I'm at. I'm right here on this island. I don't want to lose my spot, but you can see where I'm at now. So I'm right there where my little hand is, right in here. I'm going to zoom back in. Let's keep going, see what else we can find. Got some more ramps. Couple of them right in there, and then down in here on the outside of these docks, we have some brush piles. If I zoom in, you'll really see them. There's actually 4 of them there, but if you hit one of them, you'll see the rest of them. But they're all right there. You can see them. There might even be another one right there. It's kind of hard to tell, but these are that's go time right there. All right, so let's keep moving up. We got another ramp here. We've got rocks out here, so good hard spots off the edges of these points. You can see I've marked the really rocky areas. Then we come back in here to this big little cove, so it's decent, but it's not huge. A couple ramps in here, a couple more ramps. Got a little bit of rock back in there as well. You can see some a little bit of debris. Here's these little brush piles people put out here. There's another brush pile there. There's another one right here, and then you can see the rocky spots that we've marked as well. A couple more ramps. This ramp looks like it could be the deal with all the rock around it. So I'd definitely look at some of these. I mean, all of these, actually almost every one of these has that. So at least these three look like some pretty good ramps to go ahead and fish, or at least take a look at. Got a little bit more rock out here off the edge of this, and then this point just looks juice right here. It's got all kinds of stuff going on. It's got rocks, it's got ramps, it's got more rock. Looks like it might even have a little shelf there, a little drop, some really good hard areas around in here. Just this whole spot right in here is definitely a huge hard spot. And then you can see it kind of continues on over here too. We've got the hard spots here. This looks bluff here, almost like it has a lot more depth in this area as well. All right, so I'll pull back here. And now we're going to go into these two little pockets and see what we can find. I'm just going to zoom in here. We've got some rock down in here, some more rock. Here's some debris down in there. There's some more rock. We got the ramp that's down there. There's a little bit of a ditch down there. I didn't see too much as far as creek channels on this lake. Nothing that really popped out to me that said, oh, man, you got to go fish that. Now, this next spot's pretty cool. We got a hard spot here. So it's not that one, but it's this next one. I thought this was really cool looking. So it's almost like they've cut out an area here. And so when that water's up, that's going to be a really good, like little deep little spot right there. And I can see fish being attracted to that. In fact, let's move this up to 2023 and see if you're out there in 2023, 2024, whatever it is. If you're out there when the water's up, you're not going to realize you got this nice little cut in right there. And I can see the fish being attracted to that. So make sure to, if you're not going to buy the waypoints, take note of that little spot right there because it looks really cool. All right, lots of ramps back in here, so we're going to talk about those. But here's some rock. Got a little bit of debris, some more rock in here. Just a decent little pocket, but I really like that spot. I mean, the spot's just, I don't know, things that are unique like that always seem to work out. So definitely go look at that. You got these hard spots out here off these points, a couple laydowns, some more rock, nothing fancy, some more rock back in here as well. Pretty good little bluff wall here. And then obviously on the outside edges, if you've ever seen me talk about the offshore stuff, I always talk about finding these bluff walls and then finding right where it ends. So like right in here would be a money spot. And then up in here off of the side of this point would be a money spot. Really good rock though. Really good stuff going on here. Some more hard spots off that point. A little bit more rock back in here. Now we're in the Poplar Springs branch. See, it goes pretty far back here. So let's take a look at it. Got quite a bit of rock in here. Some hard spots, rock, whatever you want to call it. Just kind of scattered. I like this one right here, this little secondary point. Kind of splits off from the heavy stuff, gets a little sandy, and then goes back here to more of a rocky spot. Really like that. And if we look at that when the water's up, that's probably going to be a perfect offshore spot to go check out. So definitely go look at that. Hard spots in there. I don't know if we had more back in here. I mean, it's just some rock and debris. Nothing too fancy back in there. So let's move over here. Now, when we get out here to the outside, which we've skipped these kind of areas, so let's hit this area right here. You're going to be definitely out in the middle of the lake, but that's okay because you've got some really good spots out here. Look at all the good rock that's in here. And so what we've done is we've just marked the little rocky areas so you knew the different areas to fish because you could waste a lot of time. If you started out here and started on the wrong side and stayed over here and then came over, you might catch a fish here and think, oh, this is the deal. And then you're down here further and you're just fishing crap. But if you fish the other side, you're fishing really good stuff. You're fishing higher percentage stuff. So we've got it all marked for you. Again, you can see it all out there. In fact, there's even more right in here where you can see we've got a little bit of rock in here as well for you to take a look at. Let's pull this back a little bit and see what else we can find in here. As we come off of here, we already went back into that little cove. We've got a hump that's right here with a little bit of rock off the outside edge of it as well. Some more rock up in here. A little bit more rock back in here too. Some really good rock in this area for sure. Another ramp. Decent little channel that comes back here. And then you can see some more rock up in there as well. This little point looks good. Obviously you've got some kind of a channel coming through here somewhere. It almost looks like it comes down here and hits here and then swings over here. I'm not really sure, but this is definitely more of a bluffy type wall. Deeper water for sure, but really good point right there with some good rock on it. then as we get out here into these islands, just pointing out where those rocky spots are, you can see all the different areas that are out there. Some pretty good stuff that's out there too. Look at that. That's just good. That one looks good. Almost has a little ledge on it. This looks good. I mean, this might even be good over here. I didn't mark this, but you've got some scattered stuff over here too. Get out there with a wobblehead or a Carolina rig or crankbait. I mean, you could have some fun out there for sure. All right, so now I'm getting all lost because of all these places, but I know we stopped on that little point right there. So let's go up. We're just gonna finish this whole side, and then we'll wrap up the video on this side. So before we do that, let's just go out here and look at the middle, and then we'll come back and we'll start at that point. So I come back up here and show you guys just this middle side. You can see again, there's a little bit more rock on this side than there is on this side. There is a little bit over here, not much though, and you can see all these hard spots. I can see these things being pretty good areas to go fish, even on more little spot right there. All right, so that takes us up to the tip pretty much of where those islands are. Let's go back down here to this point, and now let's just look at kind of this area right in here. So we got the point there. We've got some pretty good rock that's out here off the edge of this little island. Only 2 little spots, but both those spots are probably going to be pretty productive. Some really good hard spots and rock around here. We talked about the rock and the hard spots out there off these islands. You can see them all. You got more down in here too, just little isolated little rock spots. You can just hop and fish 3 or 4 of them in an hour, just hop between them. You've also got here, you've got a little more rock here, some hard spots. You've got little rock piles that are buried back in here. I don't know if these would even be worth it, but I went ahead and marked them for you. It just doesn't look like a good spot. And watch, that's probably a really good spot. Here's a little channel that comes through here, a little creek. You got a boat ramp back here. If you ever get enough water in here, there's a little bit of brush back there, but again, it's going to be pretty limited to when the water's up. And then if you get out here, I mean, stay further out here. This is where the good stuff is, right? Here's all that rock we talked about, those hard spots. This is going to be a higher percentage than this right in here. Even though, you like fishing those little coves, this is going to be way better. All right, let's keep moving. We got more hard spots. If you get back in here, we got pretty good rock. That's a really good point right there. And I really like this spot right here. Anywhere you can find a pinch point, right, where you see the lands almost coming together there, and you can find those pinch points, those are always good places to fish. I mean, even over here, I don't have it marked, but that little saddle right there where it cuts between, those pinch points can be really good areas to check out. So we've got the ramps there as well, some more rock. We talked about that point. Nice little rocky spot here. There's some brush back in here, but just depends on how high the water is. The water gets high enough, there is definitely some brush back in there. There's pretty decent little ditches back in here. You can see these are some pretty significant ones. Then we've got a foundation that's back here too. It would be pretty cool to fish that, or at least see it on down scan. Then you got some rock here, some more rock up in there. Another hard spot. Pretty decent ramp over there. This is a really good looking point. Love that. Like that little hard spot there. And then even right here too. Most people would be attracted to this because they can see it when the water's up. They're not going to see this part, but that could be a good little spot there as well. Another ramp in here, a little bit of a creek channel, some rock. You got some hard spot and debris that's back in here, and I wanted to show you guys this because I don't know what they are. There's actually 3 more of them over here. Looks like they floated off. But I don't know if these are fish attractors or what. Look like fish cubes. That's what they look like to me, but there is a bunch of them back here. So definitely take note of that little area right in there. And you got this little pinch point area right in here with a couple more of those cubes that are over here, some rock. It just looks like it could be a good spot. You even got a good little point out here as well. So that really is going to cover us today for Cherokee Lake as far as coming up this south side and working up the east side of the lake. When we come back, we're going to switch over and we'll go down that west side and we'll go all the way back down to the very end, a little bit past the dam, the very end to where we started this video, and that will wrap us up for Cherokee Lake out in Tennessee. Hey guys, don't forget, go out, check us out, simplisticfishing.com. You can pick up all these waypoints in the 3 different areas or all of them together, whatever you want to do. We can either send you the digital files, you can put those on an SD card and load them into your graph, or you can order the SD card, and then basically all you got to do is take the SD card, put it into your graph, follow some prompts, and you'll be good to go. So go check it out, simplisticfishing.com. And until next time, I hope you catch your PB. Take it easy.